Next up in our lineup of fishy recipes is a fish dish with tomatoes and basil. So it's Italian inspired and it is so easy to make. As you can see, I've got some fish fillets just now finishing in my skillet. Olive oil, salt and pepper, and I'm gonna go ahead and take them out because they are done. And I'm doing this in an enameled cast iron skillet. So here we go, there's our fish, and again about 5 ounces. And y'all, if you are really getting into loving fish and making a lot of fish at home, here's what you need. You need a fish spatula. See how thin that spatula is? And it's flexible. So a fish spatula is something that will help you get underneath a fillet or move things around in a pan just really easily. So now I'm gonna put in some ingredients that are gonna look familiar to you. In that, there are some grape tomatoes I just chopped up. Here we go. And I am gonna salt and pepper this right now. So get it started. And now a little bit of pepper. Oh my gosh, those tomatoes smell good. Listen, when you're buying fish, you don't want to smell it, right? It needs to smell clean and sweet if it smells like anything. There is my white wine. Now I'm gonna put in some capers, and I'm gonna tell you about those capers in just a moment and why I've got the jar here. Next up, I'm gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of butter. That's not a lot of butter, but I want to put it in because it's going to make that sauce thick and delicious. You could put in olive oil, but for this recipe, butter is better, and we're not using a lot of it. So while I tell you a little bit about this recipe, I'm gonna let this butter melt because my sauce is gonna be ready when the butter melts, believe it or not. Okay, so this recipe is inspired by a fresh tomato sauce that I had in Italy. And we're not gonna cook this down very long at all, but you can cook it down a little bit longer if you'd like at home. But oh my gosh, it smells so good. You could use white wine or you could use veg stock if you're not having wine right now. So I'm gonna let this simmer away for just a moment and tell you about my capers. So here are the capers that I like to use. And a lot of times after these videos, I'll get an email from somebody and they'll say, hey, Nancy, what kind of capers did you use? Or what kind of fish sauce did you use? So I decided to keep some of my things in jars today just so you could see them. I like this Goya brand Capote. I can get it in the Kroger section of the international section of the Kroger store. The reason I like these, our capers are good for us. And these capers are actually Capote capers. They're a little bit bigger than the nonpareil we're used to seeing. So they are, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off because my butter has melted. They are lovely and squishy and full of caper flavor. So there's my sauce. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a spoon, a big one, and I'm going to I have about a good handful of basil that I've just torn, and I'm gonna put that right, oh, wait till you smell this. Oh, I wish you could. Put that right in with my sauce, and it's gonna wilt the basil some, and it's gonna make, oh, that sauce tastes so delicious. And then all I have to do here, oh, I wish you could smell it, y'all. It smells so good. Is take my fish, and do you love my fish plate? Oh, I got so excited about doing these videos because I got to use my fish plates. So here we go. Now this is also wonderful, y'all, if you want to put this over a little bit of pasta. The pop of the pickly capers, the basil, those the bright acidity, which is good, right? From the tomatoes, look at that. So it's great on top of pasta, just perfect. And then I'm gonna finish it off with some pumpkin seeds. Ooh, that these are actually dry roasted pumpkin seeds, but you can also toast them yourself. And in the recipe, I give you a